I'll do it. Welcome to episode 50! There we go. Episode 50. We said at the start, Finn was like, what should we do? And I said, let's do something different. So
Reece was very determined that he wanted to do it. I'll do it.
Everyone on headphones just threw their headphones out and gone, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's probably turned up at the start. No one said anything.
Yeah, exactly. We're here, you're here. Episode 50. 50 podcasts, mate. How do you feel? That's what minimum about 50 hours worth that we've chatted on this now.
No, mate, it's inspirational stuff, really. To be fair,
yeah.
You know, Josh Croggan did say, he was like, "That's fucking inspirational that you've kept it up, like you've been doing it every week." And we pretty much have. There's been like odd week or so here or there where like you were like depths of prep. I was partying, you were partying. We've had a few times where we've maybe missed an episode, but we've been pretty consistent with it. And I feel like we've built a very nice sort of tight-knit little community.
We've mentioned this every episode for the last like 5 or 6.
And we love you all.
Yeah, right? We love you all.
So buy the merch when it comes out.
Yes, merch coming soon. Unless you don't suit T-shirts, like Dan the Gas Jones.
Yeah. We're on 110 ratings on Spotify. And so the results from last week in regards to clothing, 22 votes, make that 23 because I've just voted. 87% yes, so 2 people, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, 23. What's 13% of 23? 10% would be 2. So yeah, 3 people.
Yeah.
So those 3 people, probably Dan the Gas Jones, Danny and Jack. Yeah. So cheers, guys. We're not going to give you any anyway. So yeah, we will be bringing out clothing pretty soon. To be fair, we just need to get it designed. But yeah, we will be doing that. Also, we're going to be starting. It's going to be like the same thing. It's going to be the same podcast. I'm not going to say like, oh, it's a sub series or a new series or anything like that. It's just going to be different episodes where we get people on. There'll probably be a little bit shorter episodes, maybe like half an hour rather than an hour, or an hour and a bit. Sometimes we do this, but yeah, we'll be getting people on, looking at like some of our clients, especially those that are competing this year. We'll be getting those on, chatting about their preps, chatting about their results, people that have done well. I know Maka wants to come on. We will get you on, mate. We just need to get our timing sorted, and then obviously it's working around other people. But yeah, we're going to get some guests on as well, and the podcast is just on the up.
Leveling up. We spoke to our business mentor guys, and he said, "Look, the podcast is a really good."
Told us to start charging for it.
Yeah, and he was like, "Now this is how you monetize it and you scale it." So we've instantly thought, right, rebrand. We need a coaching logo. We need to pay for a logo. We need to make a new Insta page. We need to make an Insta video, like a reel.
Let's get Pete on that.
Yeah, and then we need to kind of put a video up saying it's totally different. What's actually changed? Fuck all. But it's totally different.
We've got clothing and we're bringing out some new episodes. So different.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. How's your week been, mate? Let's crack on with the normal episode, even though it is episode 50. We should have worn like party hats or something, but 5 seconds before we pressed play, I did go, oh, by the way, it's episode 50.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, week's been good. I'm currently 10 days into a diet, 11 days in. And to be fair, food got dropped yesterday and across training, non-train days. I was 113 kilos flat this morning. So that was, 4.2 kilos down from my peak, which is quite expected, if I'm honest. And I say peak body weight when I came back off holiday. I was 123, so 10 kilos down. And to be fair, I feel really good. I'm in that almost sweet spot where, like, in the gym, I feel really good, feel really strong. I feel energetic. Like, I've not got like the brain fog that occurs the second carbs get over 800 grams. So the second carbs get above that, you just can't think. And therefore, yeah, to be fair, I'll be actually serious. I feel a lot better. My joints feel good. Like, I'm even going down the stairs and I can, like, scenarios like, geez, you're actually moving quicker than like crawling. And yeah, so everything's all good. Training's good. Life's good. Feel pretty decent, to be fair. I reckon another 5, 6, 7 kilos to come off from this point, which to be fair is not going to occur in the same time frame. It'll probably be the next 5 weeks, 6 weeks maybe, and that'll probably put me in a good spot because I need to be done by August. Like first week of August is when I need to be done, and by the rate of loss currently, I'm pretty much right on track. So a slight food drop yesterday, and then today on training days. On training days, most likely probably up in cardio frequency next week if needed. That'll be the next change, and I'm almost treating it like a bit more of an aggressive prep. Like I've done this so many times. So I'm like, right, where's my balance? Do I need to shift some things around? And if I do, I can. And I always quite like being a bit more aggressive. I found prep last year, like the first few weeks, so like, oh, you're just going through the same motions. I enjoy when I'm like, right, making a tweak. This is coming in. This is coming in. So yeah, life is good. Training is good. Nothing else to report. Still not 100% from training, but we'll probably be over the next week or so. This is the first week with full volume on everything. So yeah, not bad. How about yourself, mate?
All good, mate. I didn't listen to any of that because I'm over 800 carbs, so I just blanked out. Sorry, mate.
Oh, don't worry, mate. Don't worry. Do you know what day it is today?
Not a clue.
Not a clue.
They all just merge into one, mate.
Yeah. Is life that hard when food is that high?
So hard, yeah. To be fair, like, I am looking forward to dieting. What have I got? Like, a few weeks. Let me look on my calendar. So I'm going to start the diet on the 4th of July. Independence Day. Starting the diet on Independence Day. So
You're going to be independent on this diet.
So
it's the last time you dieted, you needed AJ to hold your hand. You're like, AJ, I can't get lean without you, bro.
Didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
2.5 weeks. That's mental, that.
What, 2.5 weeks of you dieting? For the first time in, what, 75 weeks?
Nah, it's longer than that. It's like 80 odd.
Wow.
So impressive. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I've gained for 80 odd weeks. Like,
you need to put an
as a natural as well.
Yeah, inspirational stuff.
Naturally gained, yeah.
Naturally gained, yeah.
I need a pat on the back.
Mate, I heard it's impossible.
Give me a pat on the back.
I heard it's impossible to get over 78 kilos naturally.
Did you?
Yeah, honestly,
who told you that?
Oh, mate, just this is lad. I honestly thought he was enhanced, and he was like, mate, I'm 78 kilos natural. I was like, mate, I feel like you've told me this 20 times, but I don't know if you have.
I hope he listens.
Yeah, I'd love it if he does.
I don't even think he'd know, though. I don't think he'd be like, oh, that must be me.
He'd message and be like, lads, I'm the 78 kilos as well. I'm natural. That's what it was. Who's this other freak? Who's this other behemoth at 78 kilos?
Freak in nature. Yeah. So, 2.5 weeks. And then I will start dieting. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be an SAS job. No, it's going to be aggressive, but it definitely is not going to be an SAS job. Hey, my eyes are stinging, so I just rubbed them because it's so hot. I'm like sweating. I went on a walk before we started this. That's when I messaged you saying I'm just getting some vitamin D. I'll be back soon. So it won't be an SAS job, but it will be pretty aggressive. I'd like to pull off like 40 pounds, to be fair. Like 30 to 40 pounds, I'll definitely be pulling off. I'll get sub 200. That's my goal. Yeah. Like, I'm not necessarily like, I need to get down to a certain weight, but I would like to see how I look at sub 200. I'm going to fucking wipe my eyes.
Finn's crying. He's thinking about a deficit.
Thinking about dieting. I'm like, just the thought of it.
Thinking about less food. He's like, I just can't do it. It's going to be so hard.
I don't know what to do. AJ.
I would argue, mate. And again, I was actually thinking about this last night. I don't know what made me think about it, but you were on my mind randomly. And basically, I was thinking, like, from a general bodyweight standpoint, I know you'd have to tidy up eventually, but like, I don't think you're at that point where, like, let's say if you were to gain an extra 3 pounds, you don't instantly look 3 pounds worse. Do you get what I mean? No. And I think that would be apparent based on how much muscle mass you hold in comparison to what you've done. But you get to a peak of a push, and you're like, okay, any more is like just going to be unproductive. And for example, mate, you don't need to be getting to 235 or 240. But I don't think if you were to put 2 or 3 pounds on over the next, let's say, 2 months, that's going to be like, you're going to be looking, going, fuck, I look so much worse for this. Do you get what I mean? I don't feel like you've even got to that point yet.
No, but I think
you have to question the productivity of where you are currently. I know what you mean.
Yeah, not even that. Like, I wouldn't be dieting if it wasn't for the time frame.
Yeah.
I don't need to diet. I don't feel like I need to diet. But then also when I do diet and I look back at where I am now, I go, fucking hell, like, why did I not diet sooner? Yeah. But then also with how I'm feeling right now, I don't need to diet. Like,
mate, even over 800 carb?
Even over 800 carb, mate. Like, I feel good. Like, I progress like pretty much every single movement, every session without question. Like, obviously it was a little bit different post stag do, but even then it was like, I've still progressed everything. Just I've felt a bit tight, like in the first few sessions back, my hips especially. I think that's just from sitting down so much with so much traveling. It's like driving a lot as well. So obviously I went to Scotland and went back, and like since then my hips, my left side have been weird. It might have also been from pissing about in the pool. I might have fucked something up from playing in the pool, to be fair. Because I, like, you know, when you do something that's just different, like we were playing about in the pool, like playing headers, and like now and again I'd like jump up for a header, and my back, I'd just like twinge my back, and like fuck. But yeah, I don't feel like I need to diet. I'm dieting because of the time frame, so I'll diet down. It'll be 8. I reckon like 8 to 12 weeks, which isn't, again, it's not well, you could class it as a mini cut. Like realistically, in regards to how long I've gained for, it definitely is a mini cut, but it's not a mini cut in how I'd like to perform a mini cut. For me, a mini cut is like, right, get it done in like 6 weeks. SAS job.
SAS job.
Yeah. But no, I'll get it done within like 8. I'm not going to, realistically, I'm not going to pull off 30 to 40 pounds in 6 weeks. Like, that's not going to happen.
Especially naturally, bro. You can't lose any more than like 2 pounds a week, and if you do, you just lose muscle.
Lose all my muscle, yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon it'll be about 8 to 12 weeks, which is spot on, because then that gives me another 7 to 8 months of working back up before I then begin prep next year. So that is the plan. That's the time frame. Now I just got to execute it.
You're going to operation what?
What, for the diet?
Yeah, or operation, yeah. What is it? Mine's hashtag road to pro.
Is it?
No.
What, even just for this diet? Or is that for prep?
I'm secretly going into a prep, mate. That's what I'm secretly prepping right now. I'm just working in the shadows. Yeah, I'll get quite lean and then just turn up at a show, out of condition, get no interaction, and be like, I competed.
Everyone's like, cool.
Yeah. Round. See you next year.
Yeah,
See you later.
Right, I've got questions from last week as well as this week.
No way. You got questions from last week as well?
Did you get through all
of
yours?
No, I had like 1 or 2. Mate, should we also mention, we've actually now started training Ultraflex Rotherham. Oh, there's a pissing wasp. Fuck off, mate. See you later. Yeah, we've started training Ultraflex Rotherham, the Mecca, on Mondays for our push and arm session. So we're there now 2 days of the week. So we've upgraded. We've gone from Premier Gym, and we're now training, like I said, at Rotherham. So the session was manipulated a little bit. We've got the Nautilus or Gym Shop flat press, the Nautilus or Gym Shop shoulder press.
They're both Gym Shop.
Yeah, both Gym Shop. And then the Strive incline press as our 3 pressing compounds. And to be fair, mate, I thought the session was very good on Monday. It was nice. I know it was new bits of kit, but I actually thought it was pretty decent. I'm excited to see what we can work those numbers up to.
Yeah, it is a good session, that.
Yeah. I enjoy it anyway. Like, it's a nice, the pacing of the session, the exercises. We've had that push and arm session now for, since the last lockdown. Like, we've done a push and arm session with the same setup, haven't we? You know, like the 2x2 try intensifiers for the arms on the latter end, and then 3 presses.
Do you remember when you slated the Strive incline? You said it was horrendous and you'd never even tried it.
Mate, I never said it was horrendous.
Mate, honestly, you were like, nah, it's shit. And I was like, you'd never tried it. Now you tried it and you loved it. I
said it throughout prep, and my stability was horrendous. Any press was awful. Come on, you should know this. Oh, wait, it's been 80 weeks since you
shouldn't be claiming that it's a shit machine.
I don't know.
Awful. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Because I can't put plates on it, and I'm too strong for it. That's why, mate.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah. Right, so questions from last week. I've got a question from GB Fitness 17. That is Gulliver Davies.
Is that from last week?
Yeah. Approach to female clients and menstrual cycles.
Sorry, mate, I'm trying to find mine. So I have in my coaching sheets, like for females, I'll have a column that literally says menstrual cycle. So then they will basically just put in there whether they are on cycle or off cycle, and basically give me any information in terms of how they're feeling. And then I will structure any programming changes or any food changes around that. You can obviously, the thing is, like, you could easily preempt what's going to happen, but that's, if any, in my opinion, that's the worst thing you can do. If you tell a girl that before she is on her period that she's going to feel worse, oh yeah, you're going to feel like shit, your training's going to be shit, yeah, your training's not going to be good, you're going to have low energy, you're going to be stressed out, really hungry, you're going to be feeling really stressed. Like, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to think all that, they're going to feel all that because they're expecting it. So instead, I don't really say anything. I say, just let me know how you feel. And every single female that I've ever worked with has always pretty much said the same thing, where they're like, yeah, like when I'm due on, feel a little bit more bloated, like digestion's maybe not the best, but my training's sound, I feel good, like I'm still able to train hard, I'm still able to get my meals in, like appetite doesn't drastically change. I feel like it's one of those things where physiologically, obviously it makes sense in regards to, you've got the different phases and the different sort of changes in terms of estrogen and the levels and progesterone as well. Like, you're going to have those changes in hormone levels, and therefore it's going to change how they feel, but more so if they know how they're supposed to feel. You know what I mean? It's like the same with when, the exact same kind of thing. A guy gets his bloods done, his tests low, all of a sudden he feels shit.
No, it tests him in the normal range. It's
but low end of normal. Let's say, all of a sudden, oh, I feel like shit. Oh, I can't progress. Oh, I'm tired all the time. Like, 2 weeks ago, before you got your bloods done, you were sound. Like, it's so much of it is in your head. So I would always sort of promote that you don't try and preempt things, or sort of almost expect that, oh, this should happen, or this is going to happen. Instead, just wait and see what happens. And then if that does happen, then fair play. There's science to back it up. If it doesn't happen, then great. You don't have to worry about it, and you just crack on as normal.
Yeah. That's a really good answer, to be fair, mate. I think that's all of mine from last week. I think I might have had one or two more. So yeah, I've actually got one more quick one before I scroll off it. Biggest gym weaponry you've seen. So what's the worst thing you've seen in the gym? Someone being a weapon. Again, we don't really like, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but we've never really... Okay, think that one.
No, I haven't. So Perrin messaged me the other day, right? And he basically was like, you and Reece need to start...
Sorry, Perrin. Is that Big P? I only know him through nicknames.
Yeah, Big P.
The Big P. The Big P, right.
He messaged me. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, on your podcast, you need to start giving answers, because when people ask, like, what's your best or what's your favourite of this, and you and Reece just say, we don't have one, he's like, people are going to get pissed off. And I messaged him back and I was like, this is the exact thing. I was like, we couldn't give a fuck. Like, we're not going to make up a fake answer to please someone, like, that's asked a question. Like, we appreciate all the questions. We really do. Yes. But we're just going to answer very honestly. And that's why the podcast is liked, because we're very honest and we're just ourselves. And then he messaged me back and he was like, never change. I was like, yeah, exactly. I'm not going to change. Yeah. That just made me laugh, because we were both going to be like, gym weaponry? Nah, I don't know. Next question.
Yeah, I literally am thinking of, oh no, you know what, actually? The one that strikes to mind. Last year throughout prep, me and Finn were on the Cybex hack. And there was a guy on the V squat behind us. That was awful.
Mate, yeah, I thought, go on, you tell that. I thought you were not going about something else.
Oh, really? Was another weaponry story about that?
Well, I'll say the other one.
Oh, you think you're fucking funny? Fair enough. Yeah, that Cybex hack, it gets all the weapons. So pretty much, we were sat on the Cybex hack, or we're doing it, like, we're getting ourselves warm, and there was this lad behind us who must have been probably 185 pounds tops. Like, he wasn't big, was he? Like, you could tell he trained. He wasn't small, but he wasn't big at all. And I think he did 4 plates per side. And we're talking not even like quarter squatted it, like facing the way that would literally fold you in half.
The Atlantis V squat, not on the hack.
No, yeah, he wasn't on that. We were on the hack, he was behind us, so he was on the V squat. And he was facing the other way, so it would have literally like snapped him in half. He did 4 plates and it was like, okay, fair enough. He whacks 2 more plates on per side. And then he like struggles to unrack it. And me and Finn at this point have like already looked at him and we're like, is he going to ask us for a spot? Does he need a hand or anything? And like, then he's put another 2 plates on it, and he's come down like an inch and a half.
The whole machine, like, he couldn't fit any more plates on.
Yeah, and then he loads as many plates as he can, and he unracks it, and he like literally is like struggling to walk it out. And then Cuba sees him mid-set, And like I think
it
he
wasn't
tried
even mid-set. He just unracked it, and then Cuba was like, "No."
Yeah, and then he like just gave him an absolute bollocking. And like afterwards, he looked at us, like he looked at me, like I was gonna agree with him and be like, "Yeah, Cuba's being a dick." And I was just like, "Mate, don't try and get me on your side." You know, he didn't even squat it; he was just unracking like as many plates.
It was like it was a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah,
it's one of those moments where like we should have probably said something, but because it's not our gym and we don't know him, you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't say anything, like, because also it's not like it's a machine, and it was unlikely that he would have properly hurt himself.
Yeah.
But when he unwrapped that amount of plates at the end, it was like, fucking hell.
Yeah. I remember literally looking at him and his legs, he was all over the place. And I was waiting for him just to snap and get folded.
I was just waiting for him to imagine if you hyperextend your hips, like,
yeah.
Oh, it just makes you cringe thinking about it.
Yeah. And the side attack thing,
yeah.
I'm a week out. Do you want to say this, mate? Because you know better than me.
I don't really know what happened. I think you were being a bit of a cocky twat, and then someone approached you about being a cocky twat, and you were like, "Oh."
No, I laughed and was like, "Don't know what you're on about, mate." We were warming up.
We weren't. We were
going in.
Well, yeah, we were like, I think we were doing 2 sets maybe at that point, or I might have been doing 2 sets, but we basically said we had a while left on the hack. We were like, oh, we've got this amount of sets, like we'll be a while, like, because we're always honest. We're not 2 minutes on the hack, like it might be half an hour for us to do our sets.
Yeah.
So we said that, and then these 3 lads like waited around, and then they came back later on, didn't they? And
admittedly though, they were being weird before, like when they just didn't. One of them didn't want to wait. And it was like, if they had asked us I think we were said when we were about to go in, like, oh, if they asked to jump in, we would have been like, yeah, sound, crack on, like, jump in now, you know?
Yeah.
And then pretty much, I did my set. It was a good set. I was literally like 2 weeks out or a week out. I think it was like my last leg day. And then I like finished my set. And then like I literally just hear in the corner of my ear, like, do you think you're fucking funny? And I was like, sorry. Then he goes, do you think you're fucking funny? I was like, mate, I have no idea what you're on about. And he was like, you were laughing at me. I was like, no, I was getting myself ready for the set. I was like, why would I look at you? Like, what would I get out of looking at you prior to a set? Honestly. I was like, just crack on. And it was almost like a guy who just didn't want to wait. He didn't then have like, not the bottle, but he just didn't want to work in. He then is complaining because we didn't let him on when we were on there first. And then because we took our time with our sets, because we're not going to rush, it's our problem. So yeah, Cybex hack in that corner, full of weapons. That's what it is. Definitely. We're probably the biggest ones.
Yeah, here we are. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that potentially we've witnessed.
Yeah.
There's got to be stuff at Progress Works.
Yeah. There's 2 scenarios there, but like I think again, it's similar.
It's not. Is it weaponry though, or is it just someone being a dick? Like that
was
guy
a bit
you like kicked your phone over, didn't he? Because you were filming, and then he was like, now whenever we see him, he's like overly nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said he was in a bad mood because the gyms were closing, and I was like, mate, it is what it is. Like, it's not like we're going to throw hands in the car park, even though he wanted to.
Like, you got knocked out. He would have had you.
Mate, I was about 20. I was about 19 or 20.
He was a big, bald boy.
Hello. Podcast. Sound. Oh, hi. Sound. See you later.
Yes. Come on in. Hamster.
Just gone. So yeah. So no, it was. Yeah, that was that.
And then, the podcast, episode 50. Reece sleeps with his mum. Reece sleeps with his mum live on the podcast.
Oh, God. Where's Penny? Get Penny involved.
I don't live with my mum, mate. I'm a mature adult.
Mature adult. Fair play, mate.
Moved out 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's understandable. So yeah, so no, that was what, a couple of years ago, and yeah, other than that, I think Progress Works would have had the most like weapons in there. And do you remember, mate? No, I know another one. Do you remember the girl at Progress who asked us to spot her on the leg press, and we didn't give her enough of a spot?
Oh, that older woman.
Yeah, older woman told us that she only grows when she loads more weight. So she would put like 7 plates per side on the Cybex leg press. Asked me and Finn for a spot, and like we're not going to spot her at the start. And she literally like does 1 rep, about dies.
No, she didn't. It wasn't. She didn't about die. It was fucking easy because her range of motion was awful.
Oh yeah.
She looked at me and went, help me then. I was like, no, like that's fucking shit. I'm not going to help you when your form's horrendous.
Yeah,
He's the woman as well that stole the leg extension when I was like 2 weeks out and I hated everybody. And we had our bags and everything right on the leg extension, just about to go on it, and she was just on it. And I think I asked her, I was like, sorry, how many sets have you got left? And she was like, oh, I've got like 8. And I was like, okay.
The only explanation for that is she's week 4, and she's, so she's got a deload the following week, so she's doing 8 sets.
That's why she was doing 10 forced reps on the leg press, because you're allowed in week 4.
Yeah, she had a deload the following day, so she was like, oh, I'm just going to trash myself.
Go all out, But yeah, there's loads of little things like that, isn't there? There's nothing that like massively stands out. And we've actually tried there, guys. We actually thought, all right, so cut us some slack. We didn't just go, don't know.
Yeah. Right, we're going to go on to this. Have you got stuff from last week still?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what we got up to. Someone asked, this is Radu Popescu. Cheers, mate. He asked me, how's your scap going? Did you find the cause? Dorsal scap nerve, ? Or spine issues? It's better. Still haven't found the cause. We still think it's scapular winging, but I'm pretty much sure it's to do with my ribs, to be fair. But it's not really stopping me from training. It's probably the best it's been in a long time, to be fair. So, seeing as it's all right, I don't need to try and get it sorted. Like, it's probably not a good way of thinking, because then it'll flare up again at some point and I'm like, oh. But even when it does flare up, I'm working around it well. It just comes down to exercise selection. Like, I can't dumbbell press. It's just not worth it, because it just flares up straight away, which is annoying, but it's also not the end of the world. Like, I don't need to dumbbell press to grow. So yeah, there's just some movements. To be fair, it's pretty much just a dumbbell press. And even to be fair, I don't think an RDL helps, either dumbbell or barbell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just have to work around it, which is fine.
Yeah. That's absolutely fine. Thanks for asking, Radu.
Yeah. Will Razzo, one of my clients, best ways to manage stress. So I spoke to him about this, to be fair, in his check-in, and the main thing was that he needs to sort out his routine. Routine is literally the most important thing in bodybuilding, in life, whatever you want to call it. Like, you can almost guarantee, and I said this to him in his check-in, like, the people who are more stressed, the people who check in with you who are like more stressed, I guarantee that they're probably not going to bed at the same time each night. They're probably not getting up at the same time. Their food's probably a bit up and down. Their training, they'll miss sessions just because, I was a bit tired or whatever it may be. It's like, of course you're going to be stressed. You've got no structure to your life. If you don't have any structure or any control, that's what is going to cause the majority of stress if you don't feel like you're in control. When you are in control, you just think, I'm in control. I can change that. So it doesn't need to stress me out. So yeah, that's the most important thing that I said to him. There's obviously loads of other ways you can manage stress in terms of things like journaling and meditation and supplementation and things like that. But none of those will matter if your routine is shit. Like, you have to have a routine. You have to be regimented to that routine. You can do all the meditating, all the journaling that you want, but if you're still basically sort of being lazy with a routine, you're probably still going to be stressed.
Yeah. Great answer, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Really good.
Got one more.
When were you the most stressed out in your life, mate? What would you say?
Maybe like probably in previous relationship, like thinking about that, fucking hell, it was a stressful time. Just because her mum was a dick.
What, that mum?
Her mum was a dick. What, you fucked her?
Oh, no.
Oh, that was your mum that you fucked.
Only mine.
Yeah,
no one else.
That was stressful, but almost one of those things where, like, look, thinking back now, if I was me now and like could give me advice, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Just get out. Like, you're not happy, just fucking sack it off. I wish I had like someone to just say that to me at the time. Otherwise, like, I was maybe a bit stressed at times at uni, but I knew that uni wasn't going to determine like what I did in my life. So it wasn't ever that stressful. It was just like, oh, this is annoying because I've got to do my dissertation or I've got to do an exam when I don't really feel like it's going to benefit me much, but I've got to do it because I don't want to quit and I've, put time and effort into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably then. What about you?
I'd probably say, when I started my dissertation and I was still coaching, and like that was a bit of a challenge. But then additionally, like, it takes such a little amount of time to actually get yourself into like a good structure and a routine with it that it just becomes part of it. So like the thought of it would stress me out, and then I'd do it for a day and I'd go, oh, sound, this is easily doable. I've given myself more than enough time.
Yeah. I was saying that again, like, it's a very similar thing. one of my clients today was like, just the thought of cardio, like, just don't really want to do it. Like, I'm not really looking forward to it. And I was like, of course you're not looking forward to it. It's cardio. Like, it's boring and it's hard work. Like, you don't even think about it. That's the best thing you can do. Right, put it into your routine, plan it out. Like, this is where my cardio is every day. Because he's got cardio every day at the minute, half an hour. Like, just do it. Don't even think about it. Just do it into your routine. Like, I'll do cardio every morning on the bike. I don't even think about it because it's just what I do. I just get up, come upstairs, I rehydrate, and I get on the bike, put some on YouTube. Before I've even had time to think, I'm already doing it. Like, because it's just part of my routine. It's like I say, it's the same with anything really. Like, you just have to try and make sure you create the time to do it. Right, we've got one more from last week. We've got two more actually, but we've got 3 minutes before it's going to kick us off. So
can we answer both or not?
Yeah, I reckon we can. How to bring up weak hamstrings.
Look at execution, look at exercise selection, look at how, probably them two, get stronger at hamstring-based movements. And through.
I'd also say you could potentially increase frequency because I feel like often frequency and volume, because often people will prioritize quads a lot more than hamstrings. So their leg day, they might have one hamstring movement and 4 or 5 quad movements. Yeah. So you could increase your hamstring volume, increase your frequency, put hamstrings on pull as well. That's something that I've done. Like, my hamstrings are still a weaker part of my physique, but they're a hell of a lot better than they were not that long ago, like a couple of years back.
So you see my hamstrings, they're fucking sick.
Reece's hamstrings are really good, yeah. I've just forgotten the guy's name. This guy sent me a message that said, here it is. He asked me in my messages last week. Question for podcast. So I see a lot of young guys who are new to training come into the gym I go to. They do and make the exact same mistakes I made at the start. I want to go up to them and help them with their shit form, as something like that would have helped me a lot. But I'm not sure whether it's something I should do, as they may not want someone coming up to them and telling them what they're doing is wrong. Thoughts?
I think this is it's an issue, and I would almost just say you have to, in a weird way, you almost just have to kind of crack on and just do what you would do. And if it's really, really bad and you're on the bench next to somebody, maybe mention something if it's really, really bad. But then additionally, this is a situation that people have to go through those mistakes. Everybody will lift like a bit of a shithouse, niggle something and go, okay, I probably shouldn't do that. And you lift for a bit, everyone gets into the gym and not everything is perfect. Now, for when you're a few years into it, you'll go, okay, cool, I can recognize that this probably wasn't ideal. But when you're in that moment, they could just be having fun. They might go after let's say school with their mates. They're just trying to throw a bit of weight around. I used to go in after GCSEs on 1 rep max deadlift with there'd be 10 of us and we'd literally just add 5 kilos more. And then we go in a circle until someone drops out. That's not optimal, but it's fun. If someone was to come up to me and go, 1 rep maxing, boys, that's dangerous, we'd probably be like, yeah, sound, cracking on. We don't care. And unfortunately, that's how it is.
Everybody's trying to be a bodybuilder or trying to be optimal. And I think unless you maybe work there and or if it's something that's really unsafe, then let people crack on. And
if they ask, that's your time when you can say. But otherwise, I'd leave it out. Right, part 2.
Part 2. We're on. That was rapid.
That was the fastest part 1 to part 2 we've done.
Yeah, we did. That was very quick. People won't know because we just clip them together, or the admin man clips them together. But that was rapid. Right. Have you got ones from this week?
Yep.
Go on then.
Can go through them, mate. I haven't got many, admittedly. I've got 7.
Yeah, same.
Right, that's cool. Episode 50. Thanks, guys. Twats.
Yeah, people not realise. We should have promoted it.
Yeah. Big 50 questions. We should have done 50 episodes, 50 question extravaganza.
Yeah, we should have done 50 quick fire questions or something.
Yeah, mate, should we do that next week? Should we just call this 49 again?
We'll do it next week. We'll do 51 quick fire questions. We'll find a thing online and we'll do it. I reckon what we should start doing, at the start when we just have a chat and we sort of update on how our week's gone and things like that, we should start doing something different each time, 50 quick fire questions, or that lies game that we spoke about doing. We should do that, and then get into the questions, because I like doing stuff like that.
True, like true or false.
Like a little game or something.
Yeah. Start off with a game of chess, and we have to explain the reasons and rationale for each move.
Do that. 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, right. So Thomas Hemmings, Southgate out. You love Southgate, don't you, mate?
I don't love Southgate. I just think that I sound like an old man, but like I've grown up watching England be shit and go out early in tournaments all the time, and it's quite nice to see us actually do all right. I don't think we're good. Like, I'll be honest, I think we've been very lucky. Like, when we got to the semi-final of the World Cup and everyone was like, we're going to win it. Like, we were shit. We literally were very, very poor. Euros, we were better. Yeah. We were decent at the Euros. We weren't great, but we were decent. Like, when we beat Germany, like, we watched that, didn't we? We were like, we actually thought, we weren't worried at one point. We were like, we're going to beat these. Even I thought we're going to do these, and we didn't, obviously. But I thought we were. But yeah, I think, like, obviously, these Nation League games have been shit. But also, like, the players have been through a long season. Like, I know everyone go, everyone's been through a long season. And yeah, they have. But also, a lot of Hungary's players, like, they're not playing in loads of different cups, playing in the Champions League, playing at the...
Hungry, mate. Maybe they should have a meal.
Playing at the highest level. Yeah. So there's part of that. It's not an excuse, but I think people being like, oh, Southgate out is just, it's a bit of a cop-out.
It's reactionary. He's not going to lose his job through some friendlies.
And I also think, like, even if he did, like, the players we've got are good enough to be decent under any manager. Like, you can't just blame the manager. Like, he's quite defensive, and he's got, like, his favourites and stuff like that. I do get that. But I would argue, like, that any England manager, it's unlikely we're going to get a manager that comes in that's not going to have certain favourites and probably not going to be a bit defensive, because it's, unfortunately, the culture that England have got.
I think he's an alright manager. I think
they're good enough to be able to dictate games when they are.
Yeah, I'd say that's literally it. It's confidence, and I think he's a good manager for what we are, but with our players, and bearing in mind, like, we haven't had like a golden generation, but we've definitely had the second best England team player-wise in our lifetime, bar the 2004/2006 sort of team, with like Beckham, Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard, Rooney, etc. But like, this team is very, very good. I think objectively, it's probably like in the top 3 for national teams, and I still wouldn't be confident that we win the World Cup. I think we'd be good enough to get to a semi-final or a final, but like, you should have that level of favouritism. And I just think against a big team, like, mate, you go 1-0 up on home soil in the first 5 minutes against Italy. That shouldn't be a game that you just sit back and then get destroyed and dominated.
But that often happens, doesn't it? Like, if you score early, especially in such a big game, often, like, you're going to sit back. It happens all the time. Like, it works against you if you score early.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean, but I do think, like, that's home. It's not criminal, but I don't think Southgate's going to win us something, which is a shame, because our squad is good. That's not to say I think he's a bad manager. I just don't think he's very good.
But I also think he's got just as good a chance as any other manager. I don't think it's him that's the issue. I think it's probably the mentality of England as a whole, because we're not used to winning. But we win one thing, and that sort of mentality and that momentum shifts.
Exactly.
Thomas Hemmings, is that who asked yours?
Yeah, mate. 2 in a row.
Big question this. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, but he rose.
Thomas Hemmings messaged me the other day off the back of Will Bertolini's deadlifts. Thomas Hemmings messaged me saying, listen to me talking about, or listen to me making sure his bracing was good. So they trained together because Will coaches him. And he was in the background like, yeah, get tight. I was like, yeah, well done, mate.
Well done. Great coaching of my client.
To be fair, he got 1 rep anyway. So I did say to Thomas, I said, you should have told him get 10 more. He'd have got 10 more.
Yeah. What load was it? What did he get for a 1 rep max? 180. Was it a legit 1 rep max, or should it have been like a 2 or 3?
He's been ill. That's why I put on my story, ill Bertolini. It made me laugh. That was good. Come on. Basically, Will without a W.
Oh, yeah. I didn't really get it, to be fair. I just read it and went, he's been ill. I didn't really think Will ill, but I didn't,
Yeah, you must have been having too many carbs, you, mate.
Yeah, I had a cheat meal, mate. That's what it is. Can't handle that.
But yeah, it was, I think he's had 180 for 3 before, so it's one of them where...
Pre-rep progression? Fucking hell, you're a good coach.
Yeah.
Right. Andy, is it Bell... Andy, you know Andy PT? Andy, is it Belley?
Why don't you just read it, mate?
Okay, what do you mean? Read the question, right?
No, just read his name. It can't be that hard to pronounce it.
Bell. Yeah, Bell. Mate, the guy who asked the question was the Merc. I don't know what
Well,
it's
mate, I haven't got his name up in front of me. Spell it.
Okay, Bewley.
So it's Bewley.
Is it Bewley? Okay.
Why would it be Bell if there's a W before the L?
Yeah, I've just never seen
You
Bewley.
fucking, you're a Bell.
All right, mate. Chill. All right. Chill. Finn. Calm yourself.
Ask the question. Sorry, Andy. Like, so disrespectful.
Sorry, Andy. This is horrendously
You're a top listener and you don't even know how to say your name.
Yeah. It's horrendously unprofessional from Finn. Christ. Top 3 songs for training. Each.
Prisoner.
Yeah, right. You can't say the same 3.
I'm not going to say Prisoner then because I don't really listen to it anymore.
Yeah, we have to do a draft. So once one song's gone, that's it.
All right. Am I going first?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to go first, mate.
Top 3 songs for training, what, like ever? Like
right now?
Because it changes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, go on, say 3.
I've got to say 3 in one go. Can I
do
one?
One. Do 1 and then we'll go.
I'll say. So it's called Paint It Black. It's a remix of the song. I can't remember who sang it. Like, it's an old song. But it's a remix and it's by a guy called Sebastian Bohm. So it's a remix and I use that often because it's like got a good drop and it's like an epic song. The epic song.
The epic song, right.
But I don't use that in a set. I don't use that in a set. I use it like prior to a set.
Yeah, pre-set. Right. The GOAT for me, Eminem's Survival. Used it since midway through prep when it came on a shuffle and I went, oh, I know this song. This is sick. I really like that song. So, yeah, preset.
Yeah, I feel like that just dies out, that song. I think the first 30 seconds are decent and then I'm like...
I only like from 3 minutes onwards. That's usually what I do.
I wouldn't use that for a set.
No, fair enough. Right, your one, mate.
Pendulum, Propane Nightmares.
Primal Pendulum coming to Premier.
You can only use it when you're on a pendulum.
Okay, yeah.
That's good, that. It's got like a good build-up and then a good drop.
This Is the Time by Nothing More. Very good song. We did a lot of sets to this song during the first lockdown.
What is it?
I'm not going to sing it.
Sing it now.
I'm not going to sing it. And if I put it, it will get copyrighted, won't it?
Yeah.
I'll play 3 seconds. Do you reckon I'll play 3 seconds on the chorus? That'd be sound.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, let me go to the chorus.
Doesn't really matter because we don't monetize it, so...
Yeah. You know this one?
Yeah. That really... Yeah, it's horrendous for the listeners, but I know what you're on about.
Yeah, exactly. Good song, that. Third one, mate. I'm stuck for a third, if I'm honest.
I don't know, to be fair, because there's songs that I listen to before the set that, if anything, they're more important than the actual song that I put on in the set.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Susan Boyle song. What is it? What's it called? Oh, Wild Horses. Susan Boyle. Like, that song, I would never use that in a set, but before a set. Same with, like, well, to be fair, Whitney Houston, So Emotional. I use that in a set.
So emotional.
And it's pretty good. And I do get so emotional.
Yeah.
Right, we've got to pick one, though.
I'm going to go. So I got one. I got 2. It could either be Radioactive, Imagine Dragons. Quite like that one recently.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for Crawling, Linkin Park, because it just gets into the song really quick. It's the only song that doesn't have like a million like a good.
The only song.
Build up. No, it's one of the only Linkin Park songs that instantly goes like straight in. So when you put it on, it's like right straight in. That's what I like.
I've just deleted all of my searches on Spotify while we were just chatting about that. Don't know why. I just got rid of my recent searches. Come
on, mate. Andy's disappointed. If you don't answer it, we're going to get haters for not answering.
I know. I'm trying my best. Okay, I'll say Newborn by Muse. It's quite good, that. It's got like a decent build-up before a set. So you can use it as the song pre-set and set, because it drops at about 1 minute.
Fair enough. Right, that's that.
Perrin Tustin, do you think you can push body comp too far before a prep? He's definitely thinking he pushed too far.
Yeah, he's like, fuck, 220.
Well, I pushed him too far.
No, I think you realise, like, you want to be in that position where you want to have the least amount of fatigue. You want to be, let's say, on a high level of food, and then you also want to be on a low level of expenditure, so you've got a lot of tools to play with. I think a lot of people, that you're very full and you push body weight up and you get normalised at being heavier. And then when you actually start to pull body weight down, you'll be like, Jesus Christ, I've dropped 25, 30 pounds. I still need to drop more. And therefore, it brings into the question, every single person says it throughout prep. You hear it from every single person. Oh, I'm not going to push up as silly as I got last time. It's not going to be productive. Come 3, 4, 5, 6 months after prep ends, they're back up, and if not heavier. It's a repetitive cycle where you think, oh, I didn't really need to be that heavy. I feel so much better now. Everything's in a better spot. I don't need to get much heavier. And then eventually you do. So yeah, there definitely is a point where anybody can push that sort of balance between, let's say, gaining phase and then just, like, in a sense, just becoming sloppy and more sloppy and more sloppy. But additionally, it's going to be in line with how much muscle mass you hold. Is going to compare how you actually look, and also understanding that you actually need to get to that point and get relatively uncomfortable to make the most amount of progress, especially when you're natural. So you almost have to kind of embrace that and think, yeah, it's part of the process. And eventually, like, Perrin's been in prep for what now? 12 weeks, isn't it? How long has he been in prep for now? 13 weeks?
No, not quite that long.
Oh, is it not? I thought it was...
I can check on his sheets.
I thought it was just over 20 weeks out from the first show, wasn't it? Like...
Yeah, he's 11 and a half weeks out now.
Yeah.
And he started at 22 weeks out, so 11 weeks.
11
1,
and a half,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 and a half weeks so far. Yeah. So yeah, he's less than halfway still. And he's pulled off a good amount of weight. He does look very good. He sent me some, he did his like mini update today.
But he's still not, when you look at him, like, you'd be like, wow, I've dieted for this long and I'm still not.
Yeah,
like,
but that's the reality of it. Like, when you know, well, I'm sure Perrin knew that was going to be the case anyway. Like, that's the same for anybody who pushes up a decent amount in off season. Like, you're not going to get peeled in 10 weeks unless you're already in a great spot. Like, or, well, I say great spot. Yeah, you're already probably starting too lean. Like, too lean for an off season where you've probably not pushed yourself that much. And, you know, we've seen in terms of how he's looking now, the improvements that we made, it was worth it pushing up. And he definitely didn't get, like, overly sloppy, did he? Like, you wouldn't have looked at Perrin on peak off season and gone, fucking hell, like, why has he pushed that far? Like, yeah, he was a bit soft, but he's got a lot of muscle, carries it well. His training was good. So, yeah, like, you definitely can. Like, to answer his question, obviously you can push too far before a prep, like, and people will do. You'll get some people who are, like, crazy, just push way too far. And it's like, fucking hell, why have you done that? But it's, like you say, there's sort of a line, there's a bit of a threshold where you got to find that balance. And it's like, if you push too far, it's not necessarily, oh, you've pushed way too far before a prep. It just means then, okay, you need to start a bit earlier, or you need to be a bit more aggressive in the prep.
Yeah. If anything, like, when you're actually in a prep, does it really matter? Like, you just got to do the do. And yeah, exactly. It matters what you look like when you turn up on stage. There'll be plenty of people that will know, you might know, Perrin, who, like, they start prep and you're like, Jesus Christ, they're so soft. And then come 10 weeks out, they're like, wow, they're still so soft. And they turn up on stage and they're conditioned, and who the fuck cares? You know, it's like, fair play. They might have grinded a little bit harder. They might have had to do a bit more, but if it works for them, it works for them. Like, it's just, some people have a set point where they prefer being a bit softer. It works for them. Some people can stay relatively lean in a gaining phase and then come around to prep. They're like, oh, I've only got maybe 25 pounds to pull off and not 40 pounds. And that's how it is. But I would say, like, if it's like probably like a 60, 70 pound prep, okay, yeah, you got a bit too hard. But again, if it works.
Yeah, but that's when it's a good idea to probably look at doing like a prep before the prep, or like a pre-prep diet. As then you can, like, that's exactly what I'm doing. Like, I'm not going to start prep at 235 pounds. But that doesn't mean that I can't push up to that in off season. It's just giving yourself enough time. But yeah, like, there's some people where you'll think like, yeah, they've given themselves almost too much to do, but also, again, like you say, there is such thing as too much to do, but you then just make sure you basically a bit more aggressive with it, and give yourself enough time, like I say. He also said, so excited for Camp Kelly. I haven't told you about this, mate. Next week, Perrin and Miles are coming to see me. They're here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Tuesday, they're training legs. So I don't know if you're happy training with 4 or if it's going to be with 5 if Sanaya's training.
Sanaya doesn't do that session anymore, mate, so it's fine. Okay.
I reckon we'll be all right with 4. We'll just make sure that we crack on. It wasn't any longer with Niall, was it? And he was throwing up in that, and we kept losing him. So I reckon we'll be sound with 4. We'll just have to make sure we really crack on. Pete's going to be there as well, so that'll be good. And then Wednesday's sound anyway, because it's not that long of a session. They'll be on like upper as well. So like again, it'll be similar movements. Yeah. But yeah, I'm so excited for Camp Kelly as well, mate.
Where are sleeping?
They've got an Airbnb in Haddon, which is like 5 minutes from Loughborough.
Oh.
And then he's also put love you, and then he put in brackets and Reece. So he loves you as well, mate.
Thanks, P.
Thanks, Big P.
Big P.
Make sure you call him Big P.
Big P. Big P, I'm sorry. I called you P, please, Baron. Don't. Just, God, honestly, man, I'm so sorry. Right. Okay. Macamorris, anything you'll do differently for your next preps that you noticed in previous preps?
I think for me it's a bit of a weird one because I feel like my diet was so long, but it's because the shows kept getting moved, so I couldn't really change that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't diet as long as I did, but that's because it was postponed. I definitely think I can be a lot more aggressive at the start and be less aggressive towards the end. I think I can get leaner this time, but that's just because I'll be bigger. So I'll have more muscle. So me getting leaner I'll look leaner anyway because I'll have more muscle, but also I'll have the ability to get into more condition because I'll have more muscle. Other than that, not really. Like, I think I managed things pretty well. I think I'd pose even more. Like, I posed a lot, didn't I? And my posing fitness wasn't bad. It could have been better. Front relax was amazing.
Yeah, you nailed that, mate.
So my posing, I'll pose more. Other than that, I don't really think I need to change anything.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. I think for me, it would be like time frame. I could probably be more aggressive out the gate, and I wouldn't need to do 22 weeks or was it 20 weeks? I think it's 22. I wouldn't need 22 weeks. It depends on the starting point, but I wouldn't need that. I'd be more aggressive out the gate, definitely. And I know that my back takes a little bit longer to actually come in than my front. So I knew that already, but I didn't know to the extent of stage condition. So it was where, like I've said many times on the podcast, 10 weeks out, my front was sound. I was like, yeah, cool, on the money. 6 weeks out, we were saying, mate, I could step on stage with my front, it'd be sound. My back wasn't a weak, it was definitely soft in relation, but it was so apparently soft. I was like, right, it needs to be better. But I don't need to be really any leaner. Like, if I'm honest, if I bring the same condition, I'll be happy. Like, I wouldn't need to be any leaner than I was last year. I just need to be a bit fuller. Therefore, I need to be ready a little bit early so I can fill up into the shows to somewhat of a better standard. And yeah, I'd probably, that's all I'd really say. I was pretty happy with everything. There wasn't really anything I could be like doing differently. So yeah, what would you say, mate? Anything that you want to chime in on upon me, or like because you kind of saw it's a bit more recent, or?
I think posing practice definitely is something that you can never do enough of. Yeah, like, not that your posing wasn't bad, but no. You could practice more, little tips and tricks as well that you learn in terms of ways to hit the poses slightly better. Now you've got some stage experience as well. There's little things that you can think, I could have done that a bit better. But otherwise, I think there was one period where you were confident with the fact that you were getting leaner, but your body weight wasn't changing. And I remember being like, yeah, but you do need you're going to have to lose more weight. And you're like, yeah, I know, but I'm getting leaner. And I think you're probably the same weight for a good few weeks, weren't you? And looking back, you should have been digging harder in those weeks, and you wouldn't have had to dig harder at the end. But it's all part of learning about it. So But yeah, that's like something that we both learn from as well. Because like now, like I'll have clients who they'll stay the same weight for a week in prep, and they're like, "Oh, but I'm looking leaner," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you're not lean enough, so
you're not going to step on stage at this weight."
Yeah, exactly. So you need more to come off. So we're going to keep pushing. And if we've had a week where we don't lose any weight, that's a week where we've almost wasted it in terms of fat loss. You might be losing a bit of fat and you're looking leaner and you're looking better. And it's not a dieting contest. We're not trying to get to a certain weight unless you're obviously in a weighted class and you need to get down to a certain weight. But we're not necessarily looking for a certain weight. But also, if you're not lean enough yet, then that's a wasted week. So don't waste any weeks of not having any sort of changes in terms of scale weight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Butcher's Wet Dream asked me, Champions League final, team of Big Finners versus team of Reece Fits. Who wins?
You, because I'm awful in goal. I'm horrendous in goal. So yeah,
Why are you in goal?
No, mate. Team of me and team, like there'd be one of me in goal.
Oh, full team of me. I thought he meant like a team of our clients.
No.
See, I just think about my clients first. Put my clients first, guys.
Yeah, such the coach.
That's
what
meanwhile,
I'm so egotistical. I just think of myself. Great. So yeah, no, I'd say it depends, mate. Mine would be
mate, if it's a team of me, I'd ruin you.
Mate, pace and physicality overload. I'd be like prime Liverpool,
mate,
and you'd be like, mate, you'd be trying to be like Pep Guardiola
and really physical.
You'd be like Pep Guardiola. Yeah, right now, mate.
I'd just be mopping it around. It'd be an onslaught.
About that.
Come on, you know it would.
I'm not sure, mate. Honestly,
mate. When we played American Pens, like it was an onslaught then, and I didn't even know the game. You taught me the game in 1 minute.
It was good, mate. That was good fun, though.
It was good fun, yeah. Last time I kicked a ball because I've ruined my adductor.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah,
last time for me as well.
If it was a team of our clients, that'd be quite good. That'd be something good to do in the future, like almost like a charity thing, like film it. But then
it would be hard though, picking
we always say to our clients,
mate, you wouldn't have any experience. You can only look at them and go, wonder how they are. And there's always some freaks. I bet there's some freaks that we coach that never mentioned football, but they played like academy level up to like 16. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Imagine you're not allowed to ask anyone. Like you just have to go off your own knowledge already.
Yeah.
Either way, I think I'd win.
Fair enough.
I think I've got better managerial tactics. I'd get the most out of my players.
You're coming out with like, right, lads, this is the system we're going to play. We're going to have you dropping deep. We're going to have you getting in behind.
Taking it serious, mate.
I need you to be an interior.
Right. We need to crack on.
Okay, predictions for another football one, mate. We've had a few football ones. Predictions for Liverpool and United this season.
Beth's not going to be. Beth's going to be fuming.
Yeah, I know. That's going to literally click off at this point.
Predictions about United against Liverpool.
No, predictions for United. You do United, I'll do Liverpool.
Okay. I predict that we will probably finish 5th or 6th. I think we'll be...
That'll be a good season.
Yeah, I think at times we'll be sort of in the top 4. But I don't think we'll have a bad season. I don't think like we'll bottle it and be like, oh my God, we fucked that season.
You need a boring season.
Realistically, there's just better teams than us. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if we maybe came 5th. Like behind Tottenham, because Tottenham are doing some decent signing. So we're getting some good players in Tottenham, are mate. Whereas United are not doing anything. So I reckon I reckon 5th would be a good season. If we finish top 4, we're laughing, but I can't see that happening. I don't think we'll do anything in any of the cups. I think it'll be hopefully like a decent season where there's some positives that we're actually playing some decent football and Ten Hag seems to have a bit of control over the team. That'd be nice.
Yeah. No, I think for Liverpool, I mean, we signed Nunes. We've also agreed a deal with Calvin Ramsey of Aberdeen, back up for Trent. But it's also come out in the same report that Liverpool had done with incomes because apparently we want Bellingham, but he's not available this summer. So with not having a centre mid, I do think that leaves us a bit short. We've still got a lot of centre mids, but the problem is there's a massive fall off from Thiago and Fabinho, which is not good. So when they're not fit, or that right centre mid spot is relatively weak for our team. So we would need a better right centre mid for me to be really, really confident. But I think Nunes will be a really good
Rooney.
Just get Rooney in right centre mid. Things love affair for Rooney continues. To be fair, I think Liverpool's predictions are quite easy. Like, we're going to be up there in all the cups that we could most likely actually want. Are we going to be good enough to beat City with Haaland? You never know. Like, I genuinely think it'll probably be a relatively close title race again. Liverpool might get the better, they might not. Champions League, I'd say Liverpool. If you would say they get to the final again or they win it, I'd go, yeah, cool, makes sense. It wouldn't surprise me. So, yeah, life as a Liverpool fan right now is pretty good. Pretty good. Football. Right, I've got two more.
Football.
3 for the boys.
Football.
Hey, you'll never walk alone.
So this is from your client, Ethan Ballantyne.
Yes.
He said, ask Reece why he did not say happy birthday to me. Instead, replied to my story, Sue.
He did admittedly, okay, Ethan's the client that went to the gym on his birthday. And he told me, like, oh, mate, I went to the gym.
Is that the guy who didn't have any...
Didn't even have I didn't even have a pre-workout meal. I was like, mate, you must have just been so hyped. It was your birthday. You didn't even eat your pre. So he didn't have his pre-workout meal. He went to train legs. And then he put, like, one of those stories, like, my 21st birthday, but me in the gym training legs. Like, you know, like, almost like people are going to go, oh, mate, you're so committed. So I just replied to it, like, Sue.
Not happy birthday.
Like, not happy birthday. I told him he was checking. I was like, happy birthday, mate.
It's all right, mate. Reece forgot my birthday.
Yeah. Mate, I got you at least what? We went out and did something. I got you a Christmas present. You didn't even get me anything until I told you I've got you a Christmas present.
I got you a Christmas present. You don't appreciate anything that I've ever bought you. Things that you've bought me, one of them's right there, staring down on me holding you.
Mate, I've got absolutely nothing in here to resemble you.
Yeah, because you don't look after things.
Mate, I have a Liverpool calendar right there. Who's to say that couldn't be
about 6 years old, mate?
Who's to say that couldn't be a calendar of me and you?
It's not. You just told me it's a Liverpool one. Right. DP Fit. Another of your clients, mate. You got so many.
Hey, taking over your questions.
Are there any qualities the other has that you'd like in your personality? Absolutely fucking not.
Good answer.
You'd like my humour, probably.
Mate, no chance. I'm funnier than you.
You've got, like, poor level humour for people that aren't intelligent.
I don't know, mate. Wait, what? No, so, I don't know, mate.
Didn't understand that.
That's why I was taking the piss. But to be fair, I didn't really as well. So, it was a joke, but it wasn't. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Like, I don't really know. I'd say you're quite mature, but then also I'm not immature. So I wouldn't be thinking like, oh yeah, I need Finn's maturity. I don't know, mate.
I don't think there's anything that either of us would need from the other person. No. I think we're both, like, to be fair, pretty well-rounded and happy as we are. Like, I also think, and this might be a bit of one of those responses of, like, that people get annoyed about, apparently, where if you want to change something about yourself, like, you do have the ability to change it.
Yeah.
It's like, if I wasn't happy with, let's say, something about my personality, then I'd work on it. You know what I mean? If I was, like, a really aggressive person or a really stressful person, like, I hate when people go, oh, it's just me. Yeah. Well, you do know you can change that and you can work on it. Like, it's like when people go, oh, I'm just born to be fat, me. I'll just look at food and I put on weight. No, you don't. Like, you literally just eat a lot. You eat more than you burn, obviously. You fat mess.
Sort it out. All Finn's fat loss clients just active after
that. No, because none of them ever say that because they know that it's not true. Like, and if they did, I'd be like, you do know that's not true. And they'd be like, yeah, I'm being stupid. But yeah, like, I think if you have something that you're not happy about or something that you think, oh, I wish I could be like that, like, you do know you can be like that. Like, you just have to try and change or try and work on it. Like, yeah, I think it's a strange one, that, 'cause it is something that's very common, is people just think, oh, it's just what I'm like.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but that's like saying, oh, like, before you start training, oh, I'm just small, I'm just skinny, can't change it. Like, you can, like, you just have to put the work in.
Yeah, and like the non-cockiest way possible. Like, I genuinely really, really like who I am, which I think is quite rare. Mate, stop doing that. Like, I like my personality. I think I like who I am as an individual. Like, I wouldn't want to change that. You know?
Yeah.
And I think not many, mate, stop trying to be sarcastic. Not many people can actually, like, I think some people can, but I think it takes time and it takes time to build up. Like,
I think a lot of that is, like, people aren't content within themselves. But again, you have to put in effort to get to that point, because I guarantee 5 years ago you probably weren't. You were probably a bit more of a anxious person, or you maybe cared more about what people thought and things like that. Like, you get to a point where you put enough time and effort into what you want to do in life and into what makes you happy, and like you say, you will be pretty content, pretty happy with how you feel as a person.
Yeah.
That came very deep from that question. Thank you, DP Fit.
Right. Alex Kingsley 45. Post mini cut plans, ? Push up and
Mate,
surpass previous.
has he not sacked you?
Yeah, sacked me. Yeah,
Then tell him that you're not answering his questions.
Alex, I'm not answering your question, mate, till you hire me again. Gets a girlfriend, sacks me off 3 weeks in. After I told him off.
And then asks questions, the audacity.
Mate, gets a girlfriend. He didn't adhere to his diet that he didn't need to be in. I told him this. And then sacks me the following week. Pain.
That is painful.
No, I love Alex. He's a nice lad. Post mini cut plans, push up and surpass previous weight, or keep weight lower, where performance more optimal / or question mark benefits of either route. Well, to be fair, mate, it depends. And this would be answered to Finn, but like, it really depends on where you are and what do we define as more optimal. So again, like, it's not going to be where I'm going to directly think, I'm going to get to 128 kilos instead of 123, or I'm going to get to 130 or 125. The goal will be, where's my performance going to be good? Like, let's say in the best spot possible. Can I work my food up? Ideally, I'd like to stay within good condition. And to be fair, if I started prep at 122 kilos or 123 at the same condition as I was at the peak of my last push, I would actually be content because my condition wasn't horrendous. It wasn't amazing, but it was definitely not sloppy. It was a good peak sort of off-season sort of look. So I would be content with that. And if I can, the idea is to get my body weight back up into maybe 115, 120, maybe 125, whatever it is in that range, where, as mentioned earlier with Perrin's question, food's high, expenditure's low, stress is low, training's really good, recovery is still good, and therefore I can enter prep in the best spot possible. But I wouldn't be like thinking, okay, now I've got to 105 kilos, I need to maintain this and really slowly add so I'm in the best spot possible so I don't have to have a real long prep. At the end of the day, we'll have to lose body fat regardless. I'm not going to be stepping on stage next year at 110 kilos. It's probably going to be around 100. So I'd say around that ballpark. So it really doesn't matter. Like, if I have to drop off 20 kilos or 15 or 25, whatever's going to be optimal in that moment for a prep in mind would be the plan.
Yeah, spot on. I think one thing people sometimes like over sort of, they almost put it on a pedestal, like, right, you have to get to new body weights. You have to push to new body weights. But instead of thinking that, I think you have to push to all-time levels of strength. You have to improve your performance. Like, if you can do that at lower body weight than maybe you were at previously, then cool. Like, if you need to maybe push up to higher body weight to progress your performance further, then that's also cool. Like, instead of focusing on the exact body weight, focus on the performance. That should always be the most important thing anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Right, that's my question done, mate.
Same. Let's wrap it up. Episode 50.
Perfect. Right, that's 50. Hopefully everyone enjoys. Hopefully everyone's here for the next 50. We'll do a rapid fire questions. That's what we'll do if you want.
What, in next week's episode?
Rapid fire questions from what? Google or like the actual audience? I feel like, mate, if we put it up for 3 days, like rapid fire questions, like on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have enough.
Yeah, let's try it. Just remind each other, because one of us will forget or both of us will forget.
Yeah. Why don't we put a story? Like, I'll talk to the camera, I'll tag you, and I'll say, we're going to do like a rapid fire question episode.
We'll do 50, because to celebrate the 50th episode, even though it was last week. Yeah,
so we basically we need 50.
And then also, if we've got like 25 each, because like if we both put it on, we'll probably get, if we get about 25 each, then
hey, sometimes we get like, that's the thing, sometimes you get like 10, sometimes you get 30, sometimes you get 50. It is weird.
I'll ask you 25, you ask me 25.
Okay, yeah, wicked. Right, that's the plan for next week. Other than that, guys, thanks as always for the story tags. Thanks as always to everybody who's listened and got this far. As always, continue to tag us on our story or on your stories, rate us on Spotify, share the podcast to friends, family, loved ones, etc. And other than that, hopefully everyone's had a good week, and we'll catch you guys in the next podcast soon. See you later.
Bye.